Look at these images very carefully. This person is jumping out of the window on the 4th floor of her building. The snow covered the entrance. Now look at this other image. People digging tunnels in the snow just to be able to reach the street. Kamchatka Peninsula, far east of Russia. January 2026, the biggest snowfall in over 60 years. At least 2 people have already died buried under the snow. But that's not the most impressive part. Thousands of kilometers away, on the border with Ukraine, a Russian soldier is doing this. He's biting a frozen plastic bottle to melt the ice and have something to drink. Now, there's something connecting these images of snow with this soldier without water, something that's happening in Russia right now and that few people are noticing. Keep watching, because we're going to show you something unbelievable. To understand what's happening with that soldier and with these cities, and with no profit. There are no taxes, and without taxes, the regional government has no money. And at the end of 2025, the region had a 34% deficit in the budget. When the heating systems started to fail, there was no money to fix them, no money to pay the repair crews. And then there's Moscow. Moscow has always stood apart as the center of power, where everything works and the country's problems don't reach. But in the winter of 2025 to 2026, even Moscow started to crack. The suburban bus network collapsed, with hundreds of people waiting in lines that stretch for hundreds of meters. The temperature was minus 25 degrees. Buses that were supposed to arrive every 5 minutes were delayed by an hour or simply didn't come. The reason was there were no drivers. Many drivers were mobilized and sent to the war or fled the country. To make matters worse, the transportation companies can't find anyone to drive the buses. The Russian government can't even operate the public transportation in its own capital. And this is where we go back to that soldier biting the frozen bottle. He is in the Krink region near the Dnipro River. It's winter, the temperature is below zero, and he doesn't have any water. If you're a soldier in combat, you need 3 basic things: food, ammunition, and water. If water, the most basic thing of all, isn't reaching the front line, what does that mean? It means the trucks can't get there. It means the logistics are broken. It means that soldier is on his own, and he's not the only one. Russia always said it had the largest stockpile of armored vehicles in the world, but now, in 2026, Russian soldiers are being transported in something completely different. Chinese ATVs with open trailers in the back. There's no armor, no protection, 6 soldiers sitting in an open metal trailer. If a drone attacks, everyone dies. If a piece of shrapnel hits, everyone dies. And do you want to know where the armored vehicles are? Well, they were destroyed, and the Russian industry can't produce new ones fast enough. So they use ATVs, open trailers, and handmade welded metal in workshops. And then there's the strangest tactic of all. The Russians are using vertical individual shelters, camouflage structures that look like capsules. They completely cover the soldier's body, leaving only a small opening for limited observation. Why? Due to Ukrainian drones? These drones have thermal cameras that detect body heat. When they spot a soldier, they dive and explode. So the Russians created these structures to try to reduce their thermal and visual signature, but there's a huge problem. These capsules drastically restrict mobility and situational awareness. A soldier inside them can't move quickly, can't see what's happening around. Right. If enemy infantry approaches, he's at a total disadvantage. Some observers believe these structures can be improvised from commercial portable tents, like those used for showers or bathrooms, but it doesn't matter how they were made. The result is the same: soldiers trapped in capsules, immobile and vulnerable. This isn't a tactical innovation, it's desperation. So what connects all of this? The frozen cities, the soldiers without water, the ATVs, the soldiers trapped in capsules. Look, in 2026, Russia approved a military budget of 15.5 trillion rubles. That's 40% of all the money the federal government spends. It's the highest military spending relative to the economy since World War II. And while this was happening, regional budgets were cut. The money to fix transformers in Irkutsk went to missiles. The fuel for snow machines in Kamchatka went to tanks in Ukraine. Many of the bus drivers in Moscow are on the front lines. The maintenance crews who should be fixing heating are repairing military vehicles. Russia is taking money from everything to fuel the war, and the result is plain to see. Citizens of the world's largest gas exporter freezing in tents, soldiers from the country with the most fresh water on the planet, melting ice in their mouths, cities buried in snow with no rescue because the machines are somewhere else and the situation is getting worse. Russia has lost more than 2.5 million workers. Companies can't find employees, factories are closing, and now the government is considering policies to force people who aren't working to enter the job market. The main target is women, but this creates a problem. The Russian government has always promoted traditional family values, with women as mothers and homemakers. Now they want to force them into factories. It's a direct contradiction. And the infrastructure that the Soviet Union built decades ago, the one that kept Russia running all these years, has finally come to an end. There are no more reserves and there's no money to rebuild because all the money is going to the war. The truth is that the winter of 2026 is not just a difficult winter. It's a test for Russia and they're failing that test. The famous General Winter has always been a great ally of Russia. He was the one who defeated Napoleon, he was the one who helped defeat Hitler, but now that same general has turned against his own country. Meanwhile, more snow falls in Kamchatka, more houses freeze in Irkutsk, and more soldiers melt ice to survive. Russia in 2026 is repeating the same mistakes that brought down empires in the past, sacrificing everything for war while the country falls apart at home. History has shown how this ends. And do you think Russia will be able to sustain this war throughout 2026, or will internal collapse force some kind of change? Leave your opinion in the comments. If this video made you see Russia's situation in a different way, share it with someone who needs to know this and subscribe to the channel for more analyses like this. See you in the next video.